everyone, Kate here for a 5-star predictions video. I don't do these that often, but I was inspired by Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. She recently did a 5-star predictions list, and I wanted to tell you mine. Now, I do have a 5-star predictions list for specifically Victorian literature. So I do have one Victorian book on this one as well. But it has a very different feel, and I wanted to make sure it definitely gets read this year, and I have plans for it. So I included one Victorian book, but the rest are not Victorian, and I have included 5 books on my 5-star predictions list. And the first is Beren and Luthien by Tolkien. I've heard wonderful things about this from multiple readers. One being Petra over at Petra U has made it sound poetic and moving and just beautiful and immersive. And I'm also putting this on here to spur me to finally finish my reread of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I have been loitering in The Return of the King for years now, and I need to fix that. So I want to first finish The Return of the King and then treat myself to Beren and Luthien. I do also want to read Farmer Giles of Ham. I've heard wonderful things from Amy of Harthridge, and it just sounds lovely, but this is the more challenging book, so I'm putting it on my 5-star TBR predictions. And then Wintercombe by Pamela Belle. I heard about this from Ray. Her channel is Ray of Sunlight, and she's also on Instagram. And she posted the cover of this book, and I saw that it was endorsed by Rosemary Sutcliffe. And it looks like it's a modern book, but then when I looked up, it was published in 1988. And it just looks like the kind of historical fiction that I would like. It's Civil War era England. I think there's some romance involved. It sounds really compelling and character driven. I read a sample of it. I loved the writing style. And so I'm very excited that if I enjoy this, there could be other Pamela Belle books for me to enjoy. I'd never heard of this author before Ray posting about her. So that is why I love being part of the online book community, finding out about books that I might not have found out about otherwise. Third on my list was a recent acquisition, and that is The Young Pretenders by Edith Henrietta Fowler. This is not counting towards my book buying tally for the year because I bought it on December 30th. So that's how I'm working my tally. If I didn't buy it, by January 1st, then it doesn't count towards it. Anyhow, I heard about this from Katie at Books and Things. This is a Victorian novel, and I think it was 1897 something, so it just makes the cut. Here are the lovely end papers, and all I know is that it is a children's book. It's supposed to be funny and humorous. I think a little bit of E. Nesbit vibes to it, and I don't know much else about it. It's a shorter work, and what I love too, it is 225 pages, but what I was going to say, what I love there are illustrations, 1 illustration per chapter. And I wish so many more books nowadays were made with illustrations. So very excited to have a new to me Victorian children's book. And this will get me hopefully, closer to my goal of 25 Victorian books this year. Then the next one is Marmy by Sarah Miller. This is one that I kind of happened on. I can't remember if I saw someone post about it on Instagram or not, but as soon as I saw that cover, I thought I have to try this book. And so now I am, I'm just going to tell you what percentage of the way I am through this, because so far, so good. It's feeling like a 5-star read, and I am 20% of the way through. I feel like that's a good section there. And also the cover just screamed winter to me. So I went ahead and put it on hold, and now my hold has arrived, and I wasn't sure what I was going to think of the writing style. I am pretty sure this is also the author of Caroline, which is inspired by Ma Ingalls. And I'm just really, really loving it. So it is written in diary format. It's basically Little Women, but from the perspective of the character of Marmy. And she is one of my favorite characters of all time. I think she's such a role model, but she feels very human, and I just adore her. So I'm very much excited to continue through that book. And also it's bringing out some layers to the story that I hadn't thought of. And of course, she's making her own artistic, creative decisions, but I'm really on board with everything that she's deciding about this book. So I'm very excited to continue. And then the last one on the list is A Kestrel for a Knave by Hines. And I am reading this through my Patreon and partnering with Christy Lewis. She is starting a book club and she is having different guest hosts come on. And so I was honored when she asked me, and she asked me to suggest a book, and I gave her a few titles, and this is the one that we decided on. It is a really short book. So she's doing short classics, I think, is what her goal is. This is 153 pages in this edition. It is about Billy Casper. He's a 15-year-old, and I think he's really trying to figure out what to do. Life at home is a little bit bleak, and then he finds a young kestrel hawk, and I think it just changes everything about his life. So a book about a bond between a boy and this kestrel, and I just think that it seems like it could be a favorite book. It's one of those modern classics that I've been meaning to read for years. I bought it a couple of years ago, and here I am holding it up. It's going to be read this year. It's going to happen, and I just love this cover. So those are my 5-star TBR predictions. Please let me know if you have read any of these. I will report back later in the year. Once I have gotten through all of these, I will do a dedicated video to them. And I hope that you are having the most lovely day filled with wonderful books. And I will be back with another video soon. Bye.